Hello friends, welcome to Padla Tutorials, Chapter 1 Matter in Our Surroundings. Textbook Solution. Page 3. Which of the following are matter? Chair, air, love, smell, head, almonds, thought, cold drink, smell of perfume. See, we know that. What is matter? Matter means anything that occupies space and has mass is called matter. Matter can exist in three physical states: solid, liquid, and gas. So, we can say that chair and almond are forms of a matter in the solid state. Cold drink is a liquid of a state of matter, and air is a gaseous state of matter. Here you will have a confusion about the smell of perfume. But the smell of perfume is not a matter, but the object which is present in the bottle of the perfume. That is the matter which is in the form of a liquid. But here the smell of perfume is not the matter. Now question number 2. Give reason for the following observations. The smell of the hot sizzling food reaches you several meters away, but to get the smell from the cold food, you have to go close. See, friends, we know that solid diffuse at a very slow rate, but if the temperature of the solid increases, then the rate of diffusion of the solid particles into air increase. This is due to an increase in the kinetic energy of solid substance. The kinetic energy which is stored in the solid substance reaches to the all places after the heating and it diffuses. So we get the smell of hot sizzling food reaches us even at the distance. Question 3. A diver is able to cut through water in a swimming pool. Which property of a matter does this observation shows? See, the ability of the diver to cut through the water in a swimming pool shows that the particles of a matter have an intermolecular space. See friends, we know that if it is this is a liquid and the particles of the liquids have the space between them. They are loosely connected with each other, is it? So it is possible for the diver to cut through. It is possible for the diver to cut through from the intermolecular space, which provides enough for the diver to go from the liquid. Question 4. What are the characteristics of particles of a matter? See, we know that there are three characteristics of particles of a matter. Matter have a space between them, as we know that there are the spaces between them. Particles of matter are continuously moving. They are continuously moving. And the particles of the matter attract each other. Page 6, question 1. The mass per unit volume of a substance is called density. So with the density we know that mass per volume. So we need to arrange the following: air, exhaust from the chimney, honey, water, chalk, cotton and iron. We need to adjust all these things. Now as we know that the air, as the suppose you have a air, whatever the mass you have, but if the volume is increased, then the density will be decreased. So here the air have the more volume compared to the exhaust from the chimney. Okay, so by the rule of this density is equal to mass per volume, we know that air, then the exhaust from the chimney, cotton, water, honey, chalk and iron, all this comes in the line. Yes or no? Now moving to the next question, page 6. Tabulate the difference in the characteristics of the state of matter. Solid, liquid, gaseous states we have. Now we know that the solids have a definite shapes and volume. As if we draw the solids, the blocks, if you have the solid blocks, they have the definite shapes, is it? Yes. Suppose we have the three state of the matter. This is the three blocks, and here it is the solids. The solids are tightly packed, liquids are slightly loosely packed, and gaseous substances are have the more space between them. So definite shapes and volume. Liquid, there is no definite shapes. If you take the water and if you put in the any beaker, it will take the shape. And gases have neither definite shapes and neither definite volume, because sometimes if you pressure the gas, it comes in the liquid form also. Solids incompressible, liquids compressible to small extent, and that is highly compressible. Highly compressible means what? The gas, when you compress it, you can make it in the liquid form. As the example we know that for the liquid form, that is the LPG, which is converted in liquid form, huh? Which is highly compressible. Now solids, there is a little space between the particles of a solid. The particles of have a liquid greater space between them, and the gaseous space have a greatest space. What is the meaning of this greatest space? Means they are loosely attached to each other. This is the gaseous. Now the solid particles attract each other. Here the solid particles attract each other. The force of attraction between the liquid particles is less than the solid particles, and the force of attraction least between the gas particles. That means the gaseous particles will not attract each other. Here the solid particles of a solid cannot have move freely. They cannot move freely. See here, suppose the block which is cannot move freely. Now in the liquid they can move freely, and the gas particles are in a continuous and random motion. Random motion means they don't have the exact motions. Page 6, question number 2. Now, what is rigidity? See, rigidity is related to the solid substances that can be expressed as the tendency of a matter to resist in the change in the shape. Compressibility is the ability to be reduced to a lower volume when force is applied. Fluidity is the ability to flow. Now, by filling a gas container, we mean the attainment of the shape of the container by the gas. Shape means defines a definite boundary. Suppose this is the shape. So this is the definite boundaries which have the shapes. Kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a particle due to its motion. Suppose this is the particle. If it is in the motion, then it has the energy which produced during the motion. Density, that we know, that is mass per unit volume of a substance, that is called the density. Now question 3, give reason. A gas fills completely the vessel in which it is kept. And question B, a gas exerts pressure on the walls of the container. Now, suppose this is the any kind of the vessel. There is a literal attraction between the particles of the gas. Thus, when you put the gas or keep the gas by pressure in the vessel, particles move freely in the all directions. Therefore, gas completely fills the vessel. Now, these particles move randomly in all the direction with a high speed. As a result, the particles hit each other and also hit the walls of the container with a force. Therefore, a gas exerts the pressures wall of the containers. Question 3C. A wooden table should be called a solid. D. We can easily move our hand in air, but to do the same through a solid block of wood, we need a karate expert. See, a wooden table has a definite shape and volume. It is very rigid and cannot be compressed, as we know that the characteristic of the solid. Hence, it is difficult, and it is said to be a wooden table, and it is solid. Now, particles of air have a large space between them. On the other hand, woods has a little space between its particles. So, due to the rigidity of the solid substance, we cannot move the hands from the table or wooden table, but we can move our hands in the air easily. Question 4. Liquids generally have lower density as compared to solid. But you must have observed that ice floats on the water. Find out why. See, we know that the mass per unit volume of the substance is called the density. As the volume of the substance, suppose this is the block of the ice. Suppose this is the block of the ice. Now it is the biggest block of the ice, and the volume is higher side, but the space between these ice molecules are large side. Thus the volume of ice is greater than the of water. Hence the density of ice is less than of water. So the substance with a lower density than the water can float on the water. And this is the reason the ice floats on the water. Page 9. Question 1. Convert the following temperature to Celsius scale. 300 Kelvin. See, whenever you want to convert Kelvin to Celsius, Celsius to Kelvin, then what you have to do? You have to remember one thing, 273. This number you have to remember. To be precise, we also know that one number, that is 272.15. Whenever you want to convert, if it is Kelvin is given, then you subtract 273 from that. And if it's Celsius is given to you, then you add the 273 into that. So it is easy to convert. Question 2. What is the physical state of a water at 250 degree and 100 degree? As we know, the boiling point of the water is 100 degrees Celsius. So at the 250 degrees Celsius, it should be, or it will be, in a gaseous state only. Now at the 100 degrees Celsius, water can be in the liquid and gaseous form both, because the boiling point. Because there is the latent heat which is present inside, which is converted in the gaseous form, and the vaporization contains this latent heat. So it may be in the both the form, liquid state to the gas state at the 100 degree. Question 3. For any substance, why does the temperature remain constant during the change of a state? During a change of a state, the temperature remains constant. This is because all the heat supplied to increase the temperature is utilized in changing the state by overcoming the forces of attraction between the particles. Therefore, this heat does not contribute to increase the temperature of the substance. Question 4. Suggest a method to liquefy atmospheric gas. See, if you have, this is the gas, and if you use this piston on this, and if you pressurize it, then it will be in the converted into the liquid form. By applying pressure and reducing the temperature, atmospheric gas can be liquefied. Page 10. Why does a desert cooler cool better on a hot dry day? See, when a liquid evaporates, the particles of a liquid absorbs the energy from the surroundings to compensate the loss of energy during evaporations. See, as we know, whenever the any substance lose the energy, that matter, that object, anything, even our body, when lose the energy, they want to cover the energy. Our body have the stored energy in the cell. If you don't eat for 2 days, but then also we survive only because of energies stored in the cell is utilized. Similarly, this energy is universal thing which all the particles, all the surroundings get. So when a liquid evaporates, the particles of the liquid absorbs the energy from the surroundings to compensate the loss of energy during evaporation. This makes the surroundings cool. In a desert cooler, the water inside it is made to evaporate. This leads to absorption of the energy from the surrounding, thereby cooling the surrounding. Again, we know that evaporation depends on the amount of vapor present in the air. That is called the humidity. If the amount of water vapor present in air is less, then evaporation is more. On a hot dry day, the amount of water vapor present in air is less. Thus, water present inside the desert cooler evaporates more, thereby cooling the surroundings more. That is why a desert cooler cools better on a hot dry day. Question 2. How does water kept in an earthen pot become cool during summer? See, there are some pores in the earthen pot. Earthen pot means matka, which are using in the summer. So there are some pores in the earthen pot through which the liquid inside the pot evaporates. This evaporation makes the water inside the pot cool. In this way, water kept in the earthen pot becomes cool during summer. Page 10, question 3. Why does our palm feel cold when we put some acetone or petrol or perfume on it? See, we know that when we put some acetone or petrol or perfume on our palm, it evaporates. And we know that during evaporation, particles of the liquid absorbs energy from the surroundings or the surface of the palm to compensate the loss of energy, making the surrounding cool. Hence, our palm feels cold when we put some acetone or petrol or perfume on it. Question 4. Why are we able to sip hot tea or milk faster from a saucer than a cup? See, as we know that a liquid has a large surface area in a saucer than a cup. Thus, it evaporates faster and cools faster in a saucer than in a cup. For this reason, we are able to sip hot tea or milk faster from a saucer than a cup. Question 5. What types of clothes should we wear in summer? So we know that we should wear cotton clothes in summer because during summer we sweat more. On the other hand, cotton is good absorber of water. Thus, it absorbs the sweat from our body and exposes the liquid to the atmosphere, making evaporation faster. During this evaporation, particles on the surface of the liquid gain energy from our body. So thank you very much for watching my videos.